All right, hang on. I'm gonna mute. Mute. Boom, 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 boom,
Ah,
boom, 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 boom. Ah, we are live.
I
Hello,
wasn't ready.
hello. We
What's
are
up?
ready. All right, we got Wolf.
That's me.
We got Lance.
Hello.
And today, well, before we get into the topic, I'm gonna ask you guys the same thing I ask you guys every doing. How you doing? And what are you playing? Or whatever.
I'm doing pretty good. I've been playing the demo for a poker roguelike called Balatro. That's a lot of fun. It's free on Steam right now. Highly recommend it if you're into roguelikes.
Free is always good.
Um, and I've also been playing a bit of Kingdom Hearts 1
Okay.
and God Eater 3.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. What
I've
about you,
been
Liz?
I've been really not playing much of anything because I've been all over the place the last like month. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been playing Pokemon Black and White 2 on my DS. Um, just things that I can take on the go, like Switch and
Yeah.
DS games. Nothing, a lot of older games, not anything really new. So, Skyrim, Pokemon, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oldies but goodies.
I have mostly been playing God Eater. I have been hard binging God Eater for a while.
Nice.
And on the topic of that, we're gonna get into the thing that I wanted to talk about specifically this week is with the announcement of, well, not really announcement. They confirmed what we already knew. Monster Hunter 6 is gonna be a thing. The 20th anniversary is coming up, and I would like to know what you guys would like in the upcoming Monster Hunter game. Monsters, mechanics, whatever you may want. The world is your oyster. Tell me what you want. What you really, really want.
I want
Uh,
crossplay.
That one.
That's a big thing that I would
Fuck
really
yeah.
enjoy.
Hell
I would
yeah.
like that.
I would very much love crossplay. Cause the
I'd like a good frame rate.
yeah, one of the things that I think is what would make it sustainable on for crossplay is I think one of the biggest things is how different the frame rate and loading times are from the big consoles to the Switch because the Switch is like a toddler when it comes to load times sometimes. So
Mm.
it would I feel because the 30 FPS to 60 FPS difference is really drastic. So I think if they just released it on next gen consoles and PC and had it run at 60, I think they can make crossplay work. There's not there's not really much of a hindrance to me in my opinion, but also like that's just how I feel about it. I don't think it would be. I'm not a fucking techno whiz, but I'd imagine having it all run at the same frame rate definitely probably helps a lot.
Did World run at 60 FPS on PS4 and Xbox?
I actually do not know, but that was
Uh,
also on the
played it on
PS4.
PS4, but I don't really remember. I played it on PS4 first, and then I got it for PC.
It says it runs at 60. Oh, PS4 Pro.
It
can.
probably does.
PS4 Pro runs at 60.
I didn't really see much of a change from PC to, other than PC obviously can do more, but I always just put it at 60 because it's just what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I didn't notice much of a difference, if at all.
Yeah, I could imagine that it runs at 60. I'm reading online that the PS4 Pro runs it at 60. I don't know about the normal one, but yeah, that's 60 FPS is like the gold standard at this point. I understand the argument could be made of it not running at 60, but like people notice when it runs at lower frame rates, and it definitely can hinder the experience depending on what it is.
I'm seeing on GameFAQs that on frame rate mode, you go from like 40 to 60 frames per second.
On PlayStation?
Yeah, on PlayStation 4. I don't know. I liked, and I know Liz probably won't agree with me on this one, but I liked that they went a bit more back to the like arcadey roots with Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, I don't agree.
I think,
but I also basically started with World, so.
Yeah, I think World.
No, I played Generations before that.
Oh, did you? Oh, I didn't know that.
A little bit, yeah.
I thought I like forced you into Gen at some point. Like, play this.
No, I played I played Gen because I saw somebody playing Monster Hunter World on stream, and I was like, I'd like to get into it. But at the time, I think I had 3DS, and I hadn't got my Switch yet.
Yeah, Monster Hunter has always been pretty
hadn't got my PlayStation yet.
And while World is, it's not hindered by that.
World is still arcadey. You're still choosing a mission going in. I guess, I don't know.
I would say that I like the more fast-paced fights of the older Monster Hunters, and like specifically Rise. I like how fast Rise is. I like how much mobility you have in Rise. I think it.
Yeah, I think older games are slower than World, at least. Like the games have been getting progressively faster.
Yeah.
And I think it's at a good speed now. I don't know. I need to go back and play either Generations or 4 Ultimate.
I think if you went back to 4 Ultimate, you'll definitely notice its age. I started playing 4 Ultimate on and off a little bit, and the age is showing. It's definitely a grandpa at this point. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are some quality of life changes that were introduced in World. I'll give it to them. Like you don't have to farm for nearly as many things. Like you don't have to go out and collect materials. And like, I don't think anyone actually enjoys doing that.
I like the drastic decrease in the amount of items that you need to make equipment that stemmed from like Generations. Well, just base Generations and World, because they're like, hey, because like in Freedom Unite, to upgrade one longsword, have 50 malachite ore for some fucking reason. Like have 50 of them. But like
that shit's kind of crazy. Well, I think they did kind of keep that, but they had the like point system with upgrading in Rise, where like, oh, you need 50 ore points, so you could do 50 malachite, or you could do like 5 fire cell stones or whatever. And I think that's a lot better too, because you don't have to like go back to old areas to farm shit.
Yeah, because
I was more talking about consumables.
Oh yeah.
You
don't run out of consumables at all. Like you're hard pressed to run out of consumables in the new ones, because like especially like Gen Alt and like Rise and even World, like if you're keeping a steady flow of like your farm and stuff, you won't run out of anything that you need, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to like be like, oh, I don't have any potions. I guess I gotta farm those before I do a big fight. It's just like, nope. I have like a full stack of 9,000. Yeah, I have so many materials, And somebody could make the argument that that's like, well, you get too many materials, so it makes the game easier. And I'm like, shut up. Like, you're
That's not
gonna,
that's not the challenge that anyone liked about
yeah,
Monster Hunter.
exactly.
Like,
Not the
oh, I
challenge that
have too
anyone
many
reasonable liked, I
potions.
guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard that
They
argument.
limit how many you can bring into a hunt.
I've heard that
It's
argument.
not
I've
Yeah,
like
heard that
exactly.
criticism.
yeah.
It's a dumb argument to say that you have I have too many healing items, and I'm like, you can only bring 10 of them with you unless you go back and resupply
Yeah.
like all of the time. So like
That
I
is
don't,
true. Like the resupply thing has made the game easier, but I don't
yeah.
really think that's a problem.
It's not a
Because
negative.
like
It's not a negative.
yeah, and also if you're like skilled enough at the game to be complaining about resupplies existing, you're probably not going back and resupplying anyways,
Yeah.
Right.
because it takes extra time. And
The only time that I ever really
you're just
resupply
gonna
is
go
with guns.
and fucking finish the hunt instead.
Yeah, the only time you ever should really be resupplying is with guns, and that's really it. Usually,
That's
for the most
true.
part.
Resupplying does make guns even better than they were.
Yeah.
And there's really no way to balance like
Yeah.
ammunition with like the amount that you can take into a hunt.
Because like
And that is something to consider.
yeah. Because like
Because guns have always been a bit powerful.
guns have always been overtuned in every Monster Hunter game. You'll be very hard pressed to find a game where guns aren't at least maybe like top 5 weapons in the game. Like
Yeah.
there will
But
always
it is
always
hard
be a
to
gun
like
in S tier. There will always be a gun in S tier.
right. Well, and you know that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
that's a play style that some people gravitate towards, so they should have something that's good.
The risk
I,
reward of guns is massive.
It's not even as risky anymore.
Yeah, now you have a
like-
bunch of shit that like feigning maneuver for like bowgun that just gets you out. You're
Yeah.
out of the way. You're just not even in the monsters.
I mean, that does make gun actually fun. Like, I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed playing gun in Rise.
Yeah,
I
this-
never enjoyed playing gun in other games.
because of how stationary you are with the guns in the older ones.
Yeah.
We're speaking a foreign
Uh.
language to Liz. Liz doesn't use guns.
I don't
Fair
play
enough.
gun anyways. I'm not a gun player.
That's how
Yeah.
that's how I'd
Yeah.
like to be, for
Yeah.
sure.
I am a gun user when I'm just tired of dealing with a monster. Or like if I'm at the end game and I farmed a monster like 50 billion times, I'll just bring out a gun and just make the farm for everybody else easier. But that's
Yeah.
really it. Or like if a monster just gets destroyed by a gun, say like Basil, and like for example, a lot of people are like, if anybody's like Basil's fight is X, Y, and Z, I'm just like, if you go a weapon with semi decent range, you just don't have to deal with Basil's shit. Like that's the best part is some monsters are just like you don't have to deal with X if you do this. Like you just don't have to deal
Right.
with it. You just don't got to deal with it. And
Yeah.
if we're talking about the new Monster Hunter game to springboard off of weapons is I want them to bring back some of the weapons that they have put into other games, say Magnet Spike or
These like the MMO
Tonfas,
weapons.
or like Tonfas, or for going off the wall. Shout outs to like 50 people that played Excel Axe, which is basically like Switch Axe and a charge blade on steroids. Like
Weren't they like ridiculously overpowered though? Like a
They
lot of
were.
those weapons.
they were, but that was just the nature of that game because like the monsters were overpowered in Frontier also.
You're right.
So you were also
But
insane.
like if you brought that into a normal, it would be ridiculously
I mean,
overpowered.
they could change it. They could add some shit to it to make it more balanced. I don't believe Magnet Spike should be added because Magnet Spike you just can't patch to balance it out. You could for like Tonfas, you could probably reduce like the stagger. A Cell Axe, I didn't play enough of Cell Axe because it's on your phone and it's a lot of like rapid button pushes. So
Ick.
like I can't say how you would tune that. It's just a Cell Axe is not very powerful. It's just very flashy. It's a flashy weapon. You do like big sword beams and shit. It's really cool. But like that's really it. But like the core 14 weapons are so good that like you don't really have to bring in new ones. But I think with the appearance of Espinas in Rise and like them actually acknowledging Frontier, I definitely think it kind of opened the floodgates for ideas of what they could add. Albeit
I
Espinas is like on the bottom of the barrel for Frontier monsters, but
I I don't I don't necessarily like I wouldn't be disappointed if there wasn't a new weapon, I guess.
mhm,
Uh, I feel like 16 is a lot
yeah.
already.
I
And
thought it was
I
14.
is it 14?
I think it's 14.
I don't remember. You're probably right. You know more about this shit than I do. But I like what they were doing with switch skills in
Yeah,
Rise. I like having the like customizable movesets. Um, I think more of that would be cool, and I think they should expand on that like idea. I like we have been playing God Eater 3 a little bit,
yeah. I was gonna
um,
springboard into that soon.
and that game really has like a lot of customizable movesets. I don't like how you unlock things. I think
Yeah,
Monster Hunter did it much better. And I also like how in Monster Hunter there's rarely a move that's like just strictly better than another move. Like
yeah,
they all do such different things that there are situations where you'd want to use one or the other. Except for like the longsword sheath move. Um, that the uh, the like double slash draw move instead of the overhead draw move. Like that one's just better, I think. But other than that, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
yeah. Or like for like switch gears for the weapons that I play like switch axe, it's like it's like there's like an energy charge one where hey, you could basically fill up half of your switch axe gauge, or you could do a little sidestep. Which one do you want? Do you want one that keeps your DPS up and like also has a way to get out of jail free option? Or do you just want to do a flip that you'll probably get smacked out of anyways? Like, which one do you want?
Do a flip.
Do a flip. Yeah.
I don't know. I liked the. You saying was that which weapon was that?
Oh, that's switch axe.
Switch axe? Okay, no, I don't know. I don't know anything about switch axe. There were things that people always told me were like bad with like charge blade,
Hmm.
and I would use them anyways, and they were fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I think there's always going to be an optimal option for
Yeah.
sure, and
Like
you
I
will
remember.
of course always be obsessed with determining what that is. But
Yeah.
for me, who doesn't care about being bad nearly as much, like I like having a bunch of shit to play with,
I
and
sometimes,
I hope they keep that up.
yeah, I was gonna say sometimes I argue that like for example, say like axe hopper switch axe. Before everybody was like, this is ass, like it does no damage, it's bad, you shouldn't use it. And then with the addition of elemental charge blades being a lot stronger, not only
Axe
do you get
hopper
that,
charge blade.
not only do you get to have fun, you also do stupid amounts of damage. So like, I think sometimes the optimal way is the fun way, especially with weapons like Charge Blade, because Charge Blade has changed so much over the years of how they've. Because you played for Ultimate, you understand. Charge Blade was no mercy, nothing. It was the definitive weapon,
It's
besides
pretty
maybe
funny.
Insect Glaive in For Ultimate. Like it, those two, because they were
It's
introduced.
the only
If
weapon
you
I ever used.
they were introduced in that's how broken they were. You could get away with just using that weapon. Like,
Well, and I think that's okay. Like
yeah,
I'd rather every weapon be possible to win with.
yeah. Then
Um,
have like three that work that are just the best. That are just the best.
well, like especially with how weapon crafting works in Monster Hunter, like the player is just gonna feel bad if they need to build a new weapon.
Yeah,
Um, and weapons are really complicated to play optimally a lot of the time. And I'd rather just reward players for like learning their weapon very well than
hmm
punish them for sticking with one weapon.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a bit bullshit because I play Lance, which is like kind of the most. It's one of the most polarizing weapons, especially in older games, for effectiveness. Like from monster to monster. But I don't know. I can still make it work, especially in Rise. Rise gives you tools to make it work. I even played Lance before it was cool in Rise. Played Lance before Sunbreak.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it wasn't. Like, I think it was okay before Sunbreak.
It was like the least used weapon, at least in World. I know it was the least used weapon in World, and I used it in World as well.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because they had the cat that like told you the weapon usage statistics.
Yeah. I try to use every weapon at least 100 times. The 100 hunt challenge has always been a thing for me in Monster Hunter, where I try to use every weapon at least 100 times, just for the sake of like either whether it be getting used to it or like trying it at different points in the game where I have access to all the stuff it can do. And also I think it's just fun to use every weapon. It opens the shit you can do a lot. And there's not many weapons that I don't look forward to using. There's usually not really any weapon that I don't look forward to using because like you learn shit. Maybe because like a lot of the time you might discover like, hey, this weapon is actually really, really good in this scenario or against this monster or whatever. And like me for like Greatsword with Tigrex, the first time I did the Hunters Challenge, I used to use Longsword on him all the time. And then I played Greatsword against him, and I was like, never mind. Greatsword actually just kind of fucks him. Like, you stagger lock him. You stagger lock him, and he cries.
I mean, soloing Tigrex with a longsword is one of life's greatest joys for me.
Yeah. It's why I like soloing. It's like me soloing Glavenus with longsword. I just like beating the shit out of Glavenus with the longsword.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go back and play Gen Ults pretty soon.
If you go back to it, you know where to find me.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to do like Valor Greatsword. Okay. I think.
Yeah.
Greatsword.
Or Brave? Is it Brave?
It's Valor in Gen Ult and Brave in Double Cross.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
no, it's the exclusive, the blue one.
Oh yeah, that's Valor.
Valor. Okay.
I think it's called Brave in Double Cross, like is what it.
Oh, okay.
The translation.
Yeah, that's right. Because I played Double Cross on the 3DS before Gen Ult came out. Confusing myself.
Because you're fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, I played Bushido style.
Bushido.
Was that? Which one was that? That wasn't Adept, was it?
That was Adept. Yeah.
Was it?
Pretty sure. Yeah. MHXX Bushido style.
Yeah. Since most of us have played Monster Hunter like games, I would like to see what you guys think they could take from those games and maybe put into Monster Hunter. And one thing that I think that they could take from God Eater is the ability to leave missions early. Like,
yeah, that's
what do you mean leave missions
pretty
early?
Benign.
I just think it would be a nice thing to like make it. Option. I understand that it's only like 60 seconds, so it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, okay, I see.
But like, I understand that, but like, I would like to just be like, especially if I'm like playing solo, and I'm just like farming.
I thought you meant just in general. I'm like, you can leave the quest at like any time. What are you talking about?
Like the brain rot of just
like
just being able to be like, okay, because like a lot of the time, let's be real, carving takes like 10-20 seconds. And like you could just like if I'm playing solo, I could just be like, okay, I'm just gonna go right to the next one because I don't need anything from here, or whatever. It's like with God Eater, like I don't need anything from here. I'm just gonna go to the next mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why they don't let you do it in multiplayer because a lot of the time the host would probably just leave a mission before you have a chance to do anything. So because people are dicks, so I understand that, you know, like
yeah.
But like if you're playing solo, I don't see why it couldn't be just like you can leave just slightly earlier. I know 60 seconds isn't a long time and people who have patience are like, it's whatever. But
Yeah, it's not something that bothers me, but I
yeah,
can see where you're coming
it's
from.
not the end of the world, but like it would just be a little tiny sprinkle of being nice.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I'm trying to remember. Like
The only one I've
I'm gonna
played is
be.
Dauntless, and I didn't like it.
Ooh,
So,
Yeah.
I got
that's
nothing.
Yeah,
it's not a
Dauntless
great
is not the
game.
one. That's not the one.
I was gonna say I honestly not a huge fan of God Eater.
I know.
Um,
I know you're not. I know
yeah,
you're doing. I
I'm
know you're
very
doing it
vocal
for
about
me.
it when we're playing.
I know you're doing it for me, and I love you, and I appreciate it. But
Yeah, now you know the extent of my love for you. I play God Eater,
He's a keeper.
yeah, he is.
but
True.
there is one thing about that game, and again, it's like a really benign quality of life thing.
Yeah.
When you go to like the quest board in that game, if you just mash the A button, it immediately posts the last quest, so it like
Yeah,
remembers
that
the
you
menu
farmed.
options.
Yeah, that you farmed.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
They need to keep doing that, or like give you like a repeat option.
Yeah.
Like when you post the quest, like let you press the right trigger or something, and like
Yeah.
a spot like on the Spotify. Like if you just wanted to replay the same song over and over again, I want to do that
Right.
but with hunts. I think that would be pretty nice.
Would make farming the same monster a little faster.
Yeah. It's like Monster Hunter doesn't really do anything wrong. It's just like those little tiny, just the most minute
Things that it could
Yeah,
improve
just the
on.
minute quality things that I think would just add like a little extra layer of icing on the cake that is Monster Hunter. You know, just
Mhm.
I
like
have to nitpick because I wouldn't be able to like criticize it any other way. I don't think.
yeah, me either. It's there's nothing that like I could see that stands out as like a red flag for me for Monster Hunter that like the other games don't do. Um, I like I might I'm probably the only one who has played this game, but Tokiden, nothing should be taken from Tokiden. Tokiden is not very good, but
I like Pokemon more than God Eater. I'm gonna be completely real.
Do you? I like God Eater more.
Yeah,
I also didn't play a whole lot of Tokiden. I kind of like flew through that game, so maybe I'll try it again and play it a little bit more.
I played it and it was like glitched the hell out, and I think I found like a game breaking bug or something, or maybe it just like, kept crashing and I stopped playing it.
I like the pseudo open world that that Tokiden has. Like you can go from the base camp all the way around the world back to the base camp, and I think that's really cool. I played
which
2.
Tokiden game did you play?
I played 2.
Tokiden 2. Okay, I think I played Kiwami.
I think 2 is just a remake of 1. I mean, no, 2 is.
Well, Kiwami would be a remake of 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I think 2 is like a revamp of. I don't know. My friend told me it was a revamp of one of the ones. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think one thing that game does well actually is how unique the weapons are. It's the same thing with like God Eater. Like I like how unique the weapons are, and Tokiden does have a one up in that regard. Whereas like it's not. You just have everything available to you when you unlock the weapon. Like when you get the weapon, everything is available. You don't have to do any extra like sitting in the loadout screen like you do in God Eater and testing out every single thing you unlock ever.
Yeah.
I do like the customization of God Eater is like how much you can change. For the most part. A lot of it's basically the same shit. It's like the move that you just had, but now it does this. Like, you know?
Yeah, like the switch skills in Rise. I honestly think they're better than the God Eater system because
I wholeheartedly agree. But you know, I just like the idea of what God Eater does. Because like not only does it change, I mean it still does the thing that Rise does where it changes like one specific move, but in some cases it changes it so drastically that you're just like, this is basically like a new weapon, you know? Like
yeah.
When we did
well, that's why I'm saying like I'd be fine if there weren't new weapons, if there were more things like switch skills, because
that is
all I want is more play styles in the game, and the switch skills are an elegant way to do that.
that is a problem that I had with Rise was once you unlock the switch skills of both Rise and Sunbreak, that's it. No new ones were added in updates. There was nothing. Like it's all just everything is in the game. And I wish that they added more
Yeah.
because they had a lot of different things to add. Like they could have added, like to take an example from say like longs like for you, like you know how you can't recharge the meter. What if like what if when you get to max meter it goes down? You can't upgrade it, like you can't put it back, but your damage is like drastically increased. You know, with that one switch skill, right?
Yeah.
Like they could have added a
I,
lot of different things.
yeah, God Eater definitely has a lot of like I don't want to say variety. It has a lot of options. The reason I
Yeah,
don't want to say variety is because like a lot of the options are like the same thing.
yeah.
Um,
You
like the
would
way it
definitely
works
notice
in God
weapon to
Eater,
weapon, like weapon to weapon basis is it's
yeah,
basically it does the same thing.
you have like a basic standing attack, uh, like option. You have an aerial attack option, and you have a dash attack option. Um, and most of the time, like the first one, the like standing attack options, those are usually pretty different from one another. Um, and those are like what promote different play styles. So I like those, and I like the variety of them. And a lot of the
Yeah.
time, you'll have like 7 or 8 options for each one of them. And then you also have like is it- I forget what the effects are, but you
Oh,
can you can add,
the BA effects or whatever they're called.
yeah, burst artifacts. It's basically just like a little bit of extra damage that happens at the end of the move. So you can either get like you can get an explosion, or you can get like a little burst of electricity, or you can get uh like little balls that do damage that orbit around you for a little bit. Um, and there are so many of those, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because there's
Like
we've
there's
discovered like three of them, and those are like the only ones that you need.
exactly. And also, like, you can get a bunch of other ones, but at the end of the day, they're all rehashes because
Yeah,
there's not enough like depth to how damage works in that game
yeah,
for there to be a like different situations where you'd need different things. Like impact just does the most damage, so you
yeah,
usually take that one if they're like in front of you. If you're using like a dash attack that goes past them, maybe you use sorry, not impact, ignition, whatever.
yeah.
Maybe
Ignition.
you use one that like puts wings behind you, so it does damage behind you. But there's like 3 different situations where you could choose them, and you
Hmm.
literally have like 70 options, and it's
Yeah,
just like filler. So I do like that Rise is trying to keep it concise.
yeah.
Um,
It's also like stuff that you would have that you could have unlocked in other games. So like if you see it, you're just like, oh, this is what this does. Like if you just see it, you're like, I know what this does. I automatically know where this is gonna go. You know.
like from God Eater to God Eater.
No, from I meant like the right switch skills. Like if you say like oh like when you get the counter or like soaring kick, you're like oh this is basically just world longsword. Or then like you get Sakura slash and be like oh cool I could play Sakura slash longsword if I wanted to. Like every time you see a switch skill, if you play the other ones, you recognize what it's from and like know immediately know what it's gonna do. And you could take that
Right.
and just be like okay I know what I'm gonna use this for.
I don't understand what you mean by what it's from.
Like from like if like you know how like like if you see Sakura if you unlock Sakura slash in Rise and you play Gen ult, you'll be like, oh, this is the Sakura slash from Gen ult,
Okay,
and like you just be like, oh, I know what to do with this already. Like
that's fair, I
you
guess.
could
I
spam it.
mean, I would assume that God Eater is the same way. I don't think they're
Yeah,
creative enough to come up with 70 different options
yeah.
that are
If you look
not
at
from
it, if you
the
look at
game.
it, like a lot of them, well, the thing about it is that in the other Monster Hunter, in the other God Eater games, you had burst darts, but you could only have on one burst dart at a time. It was just like you improved one move and not like the ground, the air, and
Mm.
your step. It was just one. You just had on one burst dart, and it was so spammable. And you're like, why would I do any other move? Because if this one move is buffed, and it's the only move that I have that's buffed, why would I do any other move? It serves no purpose to spam anything other than that, you know?
Makes sense.
And I'm glad that they improved that. And since all three of us have played Dauntless, so that way we can put Liz into the conversation. I'm sorry, Liz.
Oh, very, very little. I played like 3 hunts and I was like, yeah, this ain't it.
The
I
thing
have the
that
same problems with God Eater that I do with Dauntless.
I have a lot more problems. I probably am the one who played Dauntless the most out of all of us because
Probably.
it was free when I first got my Switch, and I was like, I know because I got it.
The
I got
Switch version.
yeah. I don't want to talk
Oh,
about it. Leave me
oh,
alone. I
oh.
don't want to talk about it. Leave me out. No, don't do it. Don't say anything. Leave me out of this. Uh, and I was like, okay, you know what? Fine. My friends are like, it's fun, and I played it, and then like I
No.
stopped playing it once I got.
There's
But-
just no reason to play it when Monster Hunter exists.
I see. I don't like. I understand that argument, but I don't like it because I like the variety of what all the games bring to the table. I understand that the Monster Hunter is like the king. You know, it stands atop everybody else. I understand that, but I also like to see what other things bring to the table. And unfortunately, Dauntless doesn't bring a whole lot. Uh, there's a lot of monster reskins. The weapons aren't interesting enough to keep you invested in upgrading them or whatever. A lot of it, and also I think the fact that it's a live service game kind of kills it for me because you always have to be online. So I can't like turn it on and like play a hunt offline when I'm on the road or something. Like I can't do that. And I think that's another negative towards it. Some people could argue, well, you're at home 90% of the time usually, so like just play it at home and then just like don't play it on the road. And I understand that, but like, what if I want to play it on the? What if I wanna? You know, like.
I don't like games that are too fast. Both God Eater and Dauntless kind of suffer from like monsters that just lunge at you without any warning. I think a kind of like under-celebrated part of Monster Hunter is how unique the stances and silhouettes of monsters are when they're doing different moves. And also like how the game speed is perfectly adjusted to
They're not in here.
Yeah, there's one back there. They shouldn't be in here. Who's wearing them?
I think I was. There's one. All right, I'll finish this after my podcast. I'll find the other one after my podcast is done.
a game. I forget what it's called, but it was like people were saying it was good, but it also ran like garbage, so I didn't even bother buying it.
Oh, yeah, I remember. What is it called? The one where you can like build walls and stuff.
Oh,
That's the one you're
Wild
talking
Hearts.
about?
It's called Wild
Wild
Hearts.
Heart. Yeah,
Wild Heart. Yeah, there it is.
I never bothered playing that game because like
Everybody said it ran like shit.
yeah, like I had friends who had better graphics cards than I did, and they're like, yeah, this game does not run well. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't want to give EA money anyways, so I never got it. But maybe Wild Hearts does it well. But
from what I've heard about Wild Hearts, it's a very fun game. It's very fun. I haven't had anybody not tell me it's not fun. But the thing about it is it runs poorly. That's kind of why it died so fast. It had really bad frame rate. It would kill some people's computers, like actively, like burn their graphics cards, do whatever. Like it would kill some people's computers.
Did they ever fix that? Because that was like at the beginning, right?
From what I've heard, they fixed it, but like the game is so dead now. It doesn't
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. The game is so dead now. It died very
That's sad.
I would like to keep in mind. I would like to preface this by saying that was only a PC problem. from what I've heard, PlayStation, Xbox Series S, everything was fine. From what I've heard, there was never really a problem. So
Mm.
that's just what I heard. I'm sure most people would. Sure, it was probably more of like a peer-to-peer thing where one person had a good time and another person hated life. But
Mhm.
through all of the through all the PC, I heard that everybody had problems, no matter what. It was not a single person didn't encounter something that was bullshit. And I watched people play Wild Huts, and Wild Huts has the same problem that God Eater has with no attacks or telegraphs, and the monsters are so big that the hitboxes are the size of continents. Like
Yeah.
it's borderline impossible to avoid some hits because of how big the hitboxes are. Because most like big slam attacks are the size of the monster and also the ground around
Mm.
them. So it's borderline impossible to dodge it. Like you just can't dodge it.
Can you jump?
You can jump, but it requires like a bunch of shit. You have to like set up a springboard. Then like you can't
Ew.
do all this before it slams. By the way, you got to set up a springboard and then fly and then get onto it, which takes like 4 button pushes. Then you have to go onto it. Then you have to glide, and who knows? You might still get hit out of the air. You never know. So that being said, it has cool weapons. I think that's the biggest thing about these kind of like the games is I like to see the weapons. I like to see what they do. Like a lot of them basically copy Monster Hunter's homework, but some of them do a lot of really cool things. Like the boost hammer is so different from normal hammer in Rise that you're like, oh, okay, that's fucking cool. So I become the Valstrax, but I have a hammer. That's cool. Like.
It is kind of funny to me that that Dauntless like just took the boost hammer idea. Just like that seems fun.
Yeah.
I'll just have a
I'ma
rocket
do
booster
that.
on my
And
hammer.
the axe is
And
basically
I'll
a
say it
great
was
sword.
very
The axe
cool.
is basically a great sword you can throw, and that's really it.
Well, that's fun.
Throwing-
I played that a lot. The
I
repeaters.
don't remember what I played in Dauntless. I think it was the chain scythes. Like
Oh yeah,
dual
no,
blade.
yeah. And also another thing that they do.
What?
The thing that
Hello?
they do with
Oh.
Dauntless is that since it's such a live service game, and I think I talked to you about this before, Wolf. They have to so PvP. There are rewards locked behind PvP that you cannot get unless you score like top 100 in the Dauntless trials. So they have to try to balance PvE and PvP, and I think that that's what kills the game also, because you can't balance a
Yeah.
Monster Hunter game behind PvP and PvE. That's why like arena speedruns are separate from just no like even consoles like it's separate. All of it's separate on Monster Hunter. But like it being crossplay and also it being PvP is like you have to try to balance it. So every time they find a broken thing in trials, people run it in normal hunts, so they have to nerf it. And I think that that's another thing that kills it is that they have to constantly try to balance the game between, and they're trying to rework all the weapons. And I specifically remember them reworking chain
That'd be
blades.
so fucking annoying.
It's extremely annoying because you get like a weapon and you have a lot of fun with it, and then they take this thing that you built, the set that you built, and then they're just like, it doesn't work anymore. It's nerfed into the dirt. You got to build a new set, and you're like, okay, I guess. Like it's not like
But I
it's like
don't want to.
when they nerf one skill, when they nerf one thing, they nerf everything about about an armor set. It's not like a skill that you can work around. They nerf like everything about it. So like it's really hard to build sets in that game when you're like this set that I farmed for like a day. Yep, by tomorrow it could be nerfed and it just won't work.
I remember being kind of pissed by like the Sunbreak damage changes for Longsword. So I don't think I would have the stomach for Dauntless changing shit like every other month. But I think that's just a modern gaming thing for whatever reason is the like constant balance patching. But that always comes with having PvP modes. We just need more PvE games that are just PvE games
Agreed.
and don't try to
Yeah.
be anything else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's one of the
PvP
highlights. I think it's one of the highlights of
sours
Monster Hunter.
everything.
Is that like
Exactly.
the PvP side is so like it's so like specific. You won't meet very many people who are like, yeah, man, I speedrun hunts, and you're like, that's cool. And most of the time, they're like,
It's
they're
also
gonna,
not built into the game. There's no like
yeah,
Yeah,
leaderboards or
that's just a
anything.
yeah,
Like you
personal
have to
mode.
seek out the
yeah,
competition.
exactly.
If
And
you
that's what
really
kills
like,
Dauntless is it's so ingrained into the game that it borderline
yeah,
forces you like, this is the end game. You have to speedrun. If you don't speedrun, you're playing the game wrong. And you're just like, but why though? Like that's stupid. And then like if it was just a leaderboard to be like, hey, look at these times, that'd be cool, right? Just see like, hey, I want to try to beat this person's time. But not
yeah,
then there's rewards locked behind it. So now you have to play perfect and make the top leaderboard to get these rewards. You can only get from that. You can't buy them, which is another thing. That's all the transaction bullshit. But
yeah. I mean, we talked a little about that before. How like I don't mind it as much in Monster Hunter because there's so
yeah,
much cool shit that you can get
yeah,
without paying.
yeah. All of like the
And
cool
I don't
layer
know.
shit
I
is
think it's
locked
kind of
behind
good
money.
to have stuff that like you need to do something like something that you can't buy. Like actually reward people for playing the video game. I'm not gonna say that logging it behind PvP is the best option though. It does seem kind of cringe.
Yeah, it's extremely annoying. And like that's like the whole thing about the game is that everybody's like, I'm a speedrunner, and you're like, that's cool, man. Like I do arenas and I'm top 20, and you're like, that's cool, man. And like I just need like this part. Can we break that, please? And then they're like, nah, man, I kill stuff for speed, and then they just kill it, and you don't break it, even though they could break it in one hit. They just don't because they want to kill it as fast as possible, and you're just like,
Yeah,
okay,
I can see that being really annoying.
it's
Is there
extremely
like
frustrating.
so do they like separate it? Like are you able to go into a hunt um and like say and go in with other people who are just in there for materials? Or is it just kind of random whether you end up with a time attacker?
So how it works is that you can set up a group and they usually autofill. You could set it to not autofill, but usually you hunt with randoms. Most of the time you will hunt with randoms in Dauntless. There's because like a
Hmm.
lot of like the areas you go to, you will see randoms out in the open.
Oh, yeah, and because you don't have enough friends with bad taste to play Dauntless with you.
Yeah,
Ah.
exactly. Like when like yeah, I could get you into God Eater because I threw God Eater at you. So I was like, play this,
Yeah,
otherwise you're bad. Like you're mean, I guess. But
yeah,
like you know, if I'm like, hey, why don't we just play free Monster Hunter, even though we all have Monster Hunter? You'd be like, shut up, Rag, and I'm like, okay, my bad.
why don't we
Not do that.
download Citra and
Yeah,
play Monster Hunter
just
4?
just play for you, yeah.
Yeah,
It would take less, it would take more effort, but it would be more worth it.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is like I understand the argument of like just play Monster Hunter, and I honestly I've been the one to do that. I'm like, yo, just because like some of my friends, Robin is like, I we should play Dauntless, and I'm like, we both own Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
Why?
there's no
Like,
reason to play Dauntless.
why would we play Dauntless? We both own Monster Hunter. We own the exclusive. We own the thing that it copied. Why would we even play that? Like,
I guess my argument is I usually don't have enough time in my life to play a worse version of the game I like. And I'm
I feel that.
unemployed right now, so I can play God Eater. But when I get a job, I'm not gonna want to spend my time playing fucking Dauntless, you know, when
Exactly.
Monster Hunter's there.
yeah. And like
I have only so much
the
time
grind
on
in
this
that
rock.
game, the grind in that game is it's borderline you make borderline no progress at all because the big thing is locked behind escalations. Escalations are a wave based thing that take about 10 to 20 minutes at max each run. So and then you fight the monster at the end. You probably break only two parts. You get like three items. Then you have to keep farming it and it's just you make no progress until the end game. Like you just make no progress.
It's the MMO problem.
Yeah, you'll just be stuck.
We gotta stop MMOifying games. Monster
Yes,
Hunter
please.
was already like all of the good parts of the MMO without the bad parts of it. You don't have
Yeah.
to put the bad parts of the MMO back into the genre.
Yeah, I just think that like I said, the live service is what kills it. But
I
if we're
feel
gonna,
like EA would do that too, wouldn't they?
yeah,
With Wild Hearts?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't play it enough.
Hmm.
One thing that I thought was
Good
kind of
God.
cool is that the whole hub area is open for you. Like you don't have a set area for you, so you can like set up your camp wherever you want. So like if you're like I want to set up by the training area so I can always test out shit. You could set up your farm there. You could set up your equipment boxes there. You could set up wherever you want in the hub area. And I think that that's pretty cool. So like you can go to like a high point or like buy other shops and just set up right there and just be like
Oh, Wild Hearts is playable offline and solo. Cool. Good for them. I'm surprised EA made a good decision.
yeah. I definitely think that if I had a stronger PC, I'd give Wild Hearts a try. Or if it could run on Steam Deck, which everybody's like, don't even bother trying. No matter what the fuck you do, it's not gonna run on it.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, which the reason why you might have been having trouble with World on Steam Deck is it wasn't Steam Deck certified when you played it. It is now.
I saw that actually. I was like, oh, it's shit. Really? Okay, maybe if they like reduce like the storage it takes up or whatever, then maybe I'll try it. I might still download it anyways and try it because I want to play the game with my friends. So I'm all,
Well, yeah, I think that might have been it.
as I understand as much as I dislike World, I'm still willing to like play it and have fun with my friends. Like even if like I have fun just
Better
playing
than
with my
God
friends.
Eater.
Yeah, it is. That I'll give you. Uh, but I don't know. Like I could just be it could just be because like I've just been like God eater brained for the past week and a half that I'm just like I I understand the problems and I see them, but I'm just like, man, I'm just having fun. Like I'm just killing shit. I turn my brain off when I play Monster Hunter a lot. Even any Monster Hunter game, I'm like, I'm just killing shit. I'm having a good time.
Murder.
So what do you guys think? Well, okay, well we'll skip past that. What are monsters you want to return? It could be any monster. I'm not gonna judge you as hard, but like,
I'll always say Mizu.
yeah, Mizu is a good
I'll
one.
take Mizu in any game.
I'm a Gormagala simp.
I am a Valstrax
Gormala's
simp.
good.
I'm a Valstrax simp.
Valstrak's good.
I want them to give more love to second gen, like Himnakatrice and like Yamatsukami, and
Oh, I want the owl. Malfestio?
Malfestio.
Yeah, I want him.
Malfestia is cool. I want the spiders back.
Yeah. I would like
Nursilla.
Rakna Kadaki to come back. I like Rakna more than Nursilla.
I think I just have rose-colored glasses for anything from 4U. Great Jaggy. Give me the first hunt as Great Jaggy again.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
Cowards.
Yeah, there's not many hunts that they can add that they don't really add. They add like the rogues gallery basically every hunt. I mean every monster hunter. So it's not like you're gonna really miss anything because they usually add all the standard shit.
I mean, there's only been one. You said the World Gallery? What?
The rogues gallery, like all of the
Oh.
main monsters that you can think of.
Yeah,
They-
like
they usually-
Xenogre.
Yeah, they usually add all that shit by default, so it's not really a thing to say. Like, I want them to add this back. Yeah.
I mean, there was no gore in World. You know what? Maybe
No,
that's why I don't like World.
That has to be it.
It's the only reason.
Has to be.
I don't like it because Valve Strikes isn't in it.
Fair enough.
I want more
And they have that-
endemic stuff in the new Monster Hunter too.
I think okay. As much as I
That's
don't,
the-
as
going
much as
back
I
to that.
don't like the, as much as I don't like the focus on endemic life in World, I like what they did with endemic life in World, because they were like, you can go and gather shit and then put it in your house and be like, look at this bug that I caught, look at all these monkeys
Yeah, that's
chilling
super
in my
fun.
house, look at all these It gave you a reason to actually go back to your house, because that was one of the main things that I had about. Like, even in Rise, like, there's no point in going back to your house. What's even the point? Like, everything is out in the open. I don't need to go back to my house. The only thing that it really serves is to show my friends the freak dumb photos that I took and be like, look at this dumb photo that I took. And they'll just be like, okay, that's cool. And then, like, you could also customize your house a lot more in World, and I like that too. Like, I made my house in World in Iceborne look like a wood cabin, like,
Oh, cute.
and just like super relaxing. And like,
Yeah.
you can customize it. Like, it's really fucking cool to be able to customize your house. It's not something that I thought I'd be able to do for at all in Monster Hunter, but when they gave me the option, I was like, I didn't know I could fucking do this. I'm gonna do this. Like, that's fucking cool.
I like it.
You know what they should add? They should add a Chow Garden, but with poogies.
Yes.
And you feed the poogies endemic life to change their stats.
Ooh.
That'd be awesome.
And then you breed poogies and pit them against each other, and that's the only PvP in the game.
I love it.
So you have poogie competitions.
We
You
need
can
this.
have other people in your
it's like
hub.
mini
and
games.
then
It's like
race
mini
your
games for poogies, like a race.
Yep.
And
We
shit.
need this.
Yep.
We need this. Capcom, get on it. You heard it here first, guys.
Capcom, I'm looking for a job.
I am open.
Need a-
If Wolf is my Capcom hookup, I'm gonna change the game of Monster Hunter forever. I'm gonna be like, yo, put this in there. Tell them they should put this in there.
and then they won't listen to me
And
because
then they won't
they
listen to you.
operate in Japanese.
They'll be like, what's that? Devil May Cry DLC? Awesome. You're like, yeah, that's the takeaway from this. I like a lot of the collabs that they did in World 2. A lot of the collabs are cool.
Yeah, I think
That-
they are always pretty good with collabs.
Yeah,
I am Geralt.
I am Geralt.
Geralt
Although
of
I have to fight whatever that thing is called. One of the worst
Leshen.
fights in Monster Hunter
Tree.
ever. That shit
I
is
have to
that,
fight
that
Tree.
fight is ass. I don't know why that fight is so bad.
I don't think I ever did the G rank version of that fight.
I don't know why you would.
Yeah, he's annoying.
I don't think he even really gives you
I
anything
never-
for it.
I don't think I ever beat Behemoth.
I beat Behemoth.
Yeah, well,
I'm a
I
Final
Me too, and I
Fantasy
hated
simp.
my life. It was
I'm a
awful.
Final Fantasy simp.
I was doing okay. One person who I won't name in a public setting, but
I know who it is.
Uh,
It's me. I did it.
they kept dying over
My
and
bad.
over again.
My bad. That
No,
was
it
me.
wasn't you. It was not you. Don't worry.
I know it wasn't me. I don't die.
Exactly.
I play perfect all the time. Don't look at my cart record. Leave me alone. Mind your business over there. Don't look at my folder.
Looking.
No, stop it, please.
No, please.
But yeah, I think more collabs like that would be really cool. Like just the idea of them like putting monsters from other game series into Monster Hunter, I think is really cool also. I think I've told this story before to Liz, and I might have told it on the podcast before, where I had a book when I was a teenager, and I wrote down all the shit that they could put in Monster Hunter, like as a collab, and Behemoth was on that list.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I was like, so that's why I went ape shit, because I was like, it's like they read my folder. They listened to me. Because that's what I said. I was like, he casts meteors. Like, basically, everything he does in the fight, I was like, this is what he would do. Minus, like, the lightning and shit, because that was, like, a lot of 14 stuff. But because he didn't do all that in the other games. But I was like, he'll cast meteor, and, like, he'll do all this cool shit.
And he did.
And he casts meteor, and my friend dies to it somehow.
Well, if you don't have any rocks around, you
Oh, yeah, I
can't
forgot-
do
I
And
it.
you
forgot he
use the jump emote.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You,
True.
You
And
style on that bitch.
mistime
You
it
style
every
on-
time.
You style on it. I like the option to do that though. Like the option to just
Yeah,
dodge.
that is super cool.
Yeah.
And I've had it work one time, and I felt pretty badass.
Oh yeah, no, you're like, I am that dude.
It's like,
And then
yes, I'm the
next time you
coolest
get it,
person I've ever seen!
I'm the coolest person ever.
Next time you do it, it doesn't work. Fuck.
All right. I have unfortunately been social all weekend.
Summoned?
So we are going to probably add a couple bullet points and then we're going to end this early because I want to lay in bed and sleep. So
Loser.
That's okay
I'm
with
kidding.
me.
I
I
will
might
I
do
will
the same.
I will ask you guys give me your top, let's say 3 monsters you want to come back.
Oh man, don't do this to me.
I'm doing it to you.
You guys are gonna make fun of me.
No, I'm not going to make fun of you.
Really?
No,
Nergigante.
I won't make fun of you. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding.
I
Go
like
ahead.
Nergi.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. You got this.
Nergi. Mizu obviously is on the list. Mizu's my favorite, like ever. I want Dalamadur. I haven't fought a Dalamadur, and I want to fight Dalamadur.
Dalamadur.
Gormagala. I could go on for like days.
Gormagala, Shigaru Magala, Chaos. No.
All of the Magalas.
What? Gormagala, Kolv Lao Shen. Okay. Sorry.
All
I'm
the
stalling
siege
for time.
monsters.
I do want Gormagala. I want the jellyfish Elder Dragon from World.
Oh,
I think that
Nami?
one's sick.
Nami.
Yeah.
I want them to do more with her.
And Great Jaggy.
My 3
Great Jaggy.
would probably be like Valstrax. I just want to do one Elder, and then I want to do like 2. Honestly, I wouldn't mind like Magnum Aloe coming back, but he's not my ideal flagship. If I had to pick subspecies, I'd probably pick like Abyssal Laggy. I feel like they could change his fight enough to make it work on land. So I'd probably say like Valstrax, Abyssal Laggy, and Yamatsukami, because I'm old.
Kurama.
Oh, is that the big mountain one?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's like the like little squid thing.
Yamatsukami. Oh, okay. There's a space. Yamatsukami. Okay. Mountain big god. Got it. Yeah, that thing looks sick. I'd fight that.
It's super
Lord.
cool.
Octopus moss thing.
Yeah, it's the octopus moss thing. It's really cool. It has a mouth underneath all that, so don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it has teeth and everything, so like watch out for that. He can and will bite you. Yeah, it's just so there's so many monsters that I want them to bring back, and I understand that we're gonna get like the common ones. Me personally, I prefer new monsters over returning monsters. I like it when they introduce newer monsters, mostly just because every old monster I fought a billion times, so I'm just like whatever. So I'm like, yeah,
Right.
this is coming back. I don't really care. I want a new thing. But some monsters when they come back, they are exciting. Like Amatsu. I think Amatsu's great, and I like Magnum Aloe. I think Malzeno should be a staple. I like the idea of a vampire dragon. I think that's really cool. And then I don't think we need a primordial Malzeno, but at the same time he's also really cool. He's more aggressive. Like he's more melee based than Malzeno's like I'm gonna shoot birds at you and all this shit at you. I also like the idea of them revamping how they work the weapon upgrades for the end game, like the Curio system, and it's kind of like how it is in World 2. And I kind of wish that they would just change it, like revamp it a little bit more. I definitely think, honest to God, I think World does it better. Like, I hate afflicted grinds a lot,
Mhm.
and they're really annoying. And it's not even like a hey, fight this afflicted version to upgrade this weapon. It's like fight this version and then this monster, and then also everything is basically locked to you until you get to like 240. So if you're not grinding to afflicted rank 240, which is going to take you forever, by the way, you're not going to be able to do anything. So just have fun until then. You're like, I don't want to though.
I don't want.
It's fine. At least I can do it with multiple monsters instead of like 3 monsters. Whatever. The end game grinding in World was not my favorite.
The guiding lens.
Yeah.
I like
It's
the
fun
idea,
for like
I like
an
the idea
hour.
of I like the idea of the guiding lands, like being able to like have all the areas combined. How they do it, however, is stupid. Like I think I've said this before, is where like the
Like the
level up
leveling
system,
each
the level up system
area
is fine.
thing.
The leveling system is fine, but when you start leveling up certain areas, other areas go down. Just why don't you just let me max out all the areas
Right.
and then level and adjust them by myself, because you have that option anyways. It's built into
Yeah,
the,
right?
it's built into the system. Just let me do that.
I know.
Anyway.
I'm currently trying to get a arch-tempered Namiel to appear because I need something that she drops. I don't remember because it's been forever since I was like, I need to get this item. But I know that I need to fight her, and I need level 7 on Coral Highlands. And, like, I've fought all the areas probably up to level 7 if it would let me. But because of the way the leveling is, it's like, oh, well, you have this one leveled to 7, but this one isn't because this other one's leveled to 7, so you can't have
Yeah.
both. So fuck
And
you.
it's like it doesn't make any sense. One thing, well, that I think that's cool is the Steamworks, like being able to just like rubber band a controller and just like walk away for an hour and let it get me
Mhm.
materials is really cool. I think
Yeah,
that,
it is very handy.
I think, and like it gives you, it's not even like a here's a bunch of random parts. It gives you like potions and like
Yeah, you can get
tickets.
like max pots and ancient pots from that
you
shit.
get a lot of good shit from it, and I think that that's a really cool thing that they did. And like, I like everything about World besides the monsters and the combat in that game. I think almost everything else I am okay with. I like the
Which
areas.
is weird.
I like the areas, but I know because I'm more of a combat person, and I guess that says a lot about why I don't like the game. It's because I like to play Monster Hunter to hunt monsters, but if I'm not having fun hunting monsters, then what's the point, you know? Like, but
I think the areas are too big and
I-
confusing in World. In a game where I'm going back to camp every 20 minutes, I don't want to traverse through an area that fucking large every single time. They did.
Don't mind it.
I mean, they did like make the camps that you can teleport to, and that was a necessary addition for sure. But especially like playing the game from the beginning, and the first area being so vertical. When you have
Yeah,
a
Ancient
2D
Forest
map,
is a lot.
yeah, it's confusing and
That's
frustrating.
probably the most confusing area too,
it is,
which
it is
Yeah.
probably
sucks because
it
it's
is
the
probably
first one that
worst
you go to.
Yeah, it is probably the worst one. I do not like the like wherever you fight Valhazak. I don't know. It's just eh. I like Coral Highlands is my favorite. I just think because it looks the nicest.
It hurts my eyes.
Wildspire
but it is
just
pretty.
Wildspire is just desert. Like
Yep.
you can't make a desert.
Well, there's
area
a forest
interesting.
in there.
Like yeah, I think that's the cooler part. There's like an oasis in it, but like
Yeah.
that is like the highlight of that area. I feel like Elder's Recess is just it's empty. It's so bland. It's just spikes everywhere, and I understand they have the volcano area, but whatever. You know, it's like the tiniest volcano area ever.
Mm.
I like the fact that that's one thing that I do like, that they incorporated like two separate areas basically into every place. Like,
Yeah.
like,
I like yeah, I don't know. I'm weird and I like to actually like watch the monsters do stuff. Like I remember like following an Anjanath for like 15 minutes just like watching what he does. Like he'll drink and like him hunting and like rubbing his snout on stuff. Like I like that kind of stuff. So
That's
it's
definitely
for me
an
it's not
element
all
that
about
was
just go in
involved.
and kill.
Yeah. I never let them live long enough to see that shit.
I will I'll put a ghillie suit on and just like observe how
I
they
did, however,
And I don't know
follow
if that's
Kieran.
because, like, I'm an artist and I like to observe things, and, like, if I ever want to draw these things, I can kind of, like, see in my mind what they do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that might
that makes sense.
attribute to it, but yeah, I really enjoy that about World.
That is fair.
Yeah, I did follow Kieran for like 5 minutes, and I was like, he's just doing the same shit. Like he's eating stuff,
just
and then
chilling.
he eats stuff, and then he poop, and then he eat more stuff, and then he poop. I mean,
Damn.
granted, I took the tracks. I was like, cool, hell yeah, give me all these
Right,
tracks, bro.
yeah. Free tracks.
That's like the monster condition, though.
Yeah,
That's pretty deep, man.
I know. What do you mean they eat and then poop
Eat
like
and
us,
then
like we
poop.
do?
Yep.
Crazy.
Maybe we were the whole monsters.
The whole
Oh,
time.
I made that joke. I make that joke all the time. I'm like, maybe we're the
I
monsters.
know. I know. Are
Or
we
like-
the monster hunter because we're hunting monsters? Or are we the monster hunter because we are hunters and monsters?
Or are they trying to hunt us because we're the monsters? What if we're killing the world?
Shit.
Or like, it's even funnier too if you think about like
supposed to
stories.
bring balance to the force.
If you think about a game like Stories, where they're like, you're like this guy who like tames monsters, and you're really nice, and I'm like, don't look at my other clipboard. Just don't.
Right. Do
Don't
not.
flip the page.
I
Do not flip
love
the page.
stories.
Please don't flip
Stories
the page.
is so good.
Please don't flip the page. I swear to God.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't look at my resume.
Okay. I
I think we're gonna end it
want
here.
to sleep.
I also want to sleep. Well, this has been a very good episode. I will think of another thing for us to talk about next time. You guys also could participate. I don't know, just a shot in the dark. But no, it's
Bro, this is your thing.
Yeah, it's not my podcast.
yeah, it's your podcast now. It's our podcast, actually.
Shit.
Oh, you don't want it to be my podcast.
All right. What would
Oh.
you change? Don't take away the kazoo.
I'd change the schedule.
Don't take away the kazoo.
It would just not happen. It would.
Oh.
It would
die.
just
It would
not
shrivel up and
happen.
die if it was my podcast.
The podcast would be 2 minutes.
You'd be
Same
like,
though. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know,
yes.
man. I'm gonna go sleep.
What game do you play? This game.
Bye.
Goodbye. All right.
Cool.
All right. I would have
I'm
played.
Good talk. You
catching up
doing
with you
good?
all.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I love you guys.
Yep.
You guys are doing
Bye-bye.
great. You know what it was? It was like last week where we were like, we'll reschedule this. All right, see ya. Like, see ya. All right. I'm gonna
Bro,
end
he
this
straight
now.
up laughed.
Yeah. All right. Oh, did he? All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna end this now. I'll see you guys
That's
later.
funny. Bye.